very similar. But we're going to get some significant difference at this point now. Supply almost always becomes a lot more vertical at extreme quantities. The reason for it becoming more inelastic as quantities increase is that there's a limit to how much can be made. Capacity limits is what it's called. For instance, when you bake cookies at home, your bowl or your mixer can only hold so much dough. You can only bake so many cookies on the sheet at one time. That's a capacity limit. Factories can only push out so much product at one time. Okay? So that's why it becomes more vertical as you move higher and higher in quantities. So down here, we have elasticity greater than 1. It's fairly elastic at low quantities. They can make more, they can make less. Meh. In the middle, you get to less elastic, okay, as we're approaching that inability to keep making more and more and more. And it is often far more expensive to push up against that capacity limit because it means there's no downtime for maintenance of the machinery, no allowance for people to be gone on vacation or to be ill. The factory has to run 24/7, and that is far more costly than regular lapses in production. Okay. There are, remember, other elasticities. We talked about all of the different kinds of elasticities. You have income elasticity of demand. So we've been talking about price elasticity of demand. As price changes, whether demand is elastic or inelastic. Now we're talking about income elasticity of demand, meaning how much does your quantity demanded change relative to your income? This is different than the demand determinant change in consumer income, because that's talking about a change in demand, as in moving the whole curve. This is income elasticity of demand, talking about changes in quantity demanded relative to changes in your income. Meaning you're moving along the curve as your income changes. Here's the equation for that one. Guess what comes into play when we're talking about consumer income? Couple of kinds of goods. Inferior and normal goods. Those are related to your consumer income. Did you just pseudo-dab there, Mark? I saw that. It's just okay. So an increase in income is an increase in demand for a normal good. So income elasticity of demand for normal goods should be greater than 1. What do you suppose income elasticity of demand is for inferior goods? Less than 1. You guys are so smart. There's only a few slides left here, so there is a ton of information in those few slides.
So you're saying if you missed it, you could probably watch it.
Cross price price elasticity of demand. Read it, it should make sense. It measures the response of demand for one good to changes in price of another good. For instance, complements and substitutes. And these percent changes, you're always using what method? Midpoint method. For substitutes, the cross-price elasticity of demand should be greater than 1. It should be a foregone conclusion that you're going to react the way you do. For complements, it should be less than 1. Computer is now twice as expensive. I'm far less likely to buy software. Every time there's a new gaming system, and it's $100 more expensive than the previous gaming system, they watch software sales fall for a while. Okay, so what does this look like in the real world? Gas costs soar. Buyers buy small cars. Little did you know, you were reading about what kind of elasticity? Cross-price elasticity of demand. Yeah. Okay? Gas prices drive students to online courses. What kind of elasticity is that? Still cross-price. Just too expensive to drive to campus and pay their ridiculous parking fees. Do you get the pun in this one, Andrew? Higher gear. Yak, yak. Okay.
Well, the last one had a good one too.
Students who know they're not going anywhere.
Yep.
I was waiting for Andrew to say
Camel demand soars in India.
that. Been waiting this entire time. I could wait.
Good one.
Yes, yes, they literally do farm with camels if they have to.
These are all from
2008 was a huge spike in gas prices. It was pretty easy to.
Was there a legitimate price in mules being used? Like fries?
Right.
No, they didn't want to pay for the gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and diesel was about $5, almost $6 a gallon back then. Yeah. Yep. All right. So that's the end of the chapter. No, but I did ask you to start working on the end of chapter problems over the weekend. When is the chapter test?
I'll probably be gone for that.
Let's let's go somewhere where everybody should be going every week.
What is it? Whoa, this looks like Arabic.
Beginning we totally good. We should.
Yeah. Can you read that?
It's every other Thursday.
I don't know what it
We
says.
change Friday?
No, we cannot.
It's Andrew's birthday Thursday.
Yeah, oh, there we go.
Oh, Friday might go to
Me and
Birthday Friday. I'm going.
How we doing on the
No,
Is that this
I
week?
will never say never.
Yeah.
I will play.
Chapter 5 quiz.
Make it right.
So there you go, guys.
So the test is.
The test is, the quiz is Thursday.
That's you.
All right, so listen up. You get the rest of this hour to get started on this. Get going on it. Get your missing work in.
Hey, Bo,
Yes,
is your book right there, is that the teacher edition?
yes, but there is no teacher edition.
So can I use it for this hour?
Yes.
I was super confused right there. I was like, wait a second.
Wait a second. Oh, also, you make the test on Tuesday, made Hayden sing Justin Bieber's.
Well, I thought about it, and then I decided it's Friday, can't give a test on Friday.